Sup guys, boy Justin here with another graphic novel review for Halloween month, and today I'm reviewing Doom Patrol Omnibus 2, which covers the second half of Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol, which this omnibus collects issues 35 through 50, featuring the art of Richard Case, Mark McKenna, Kelly Jones, Mike Drinkenberg, and Steve Yao. So yeah, because, by the way, if you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and, well, at least like and comment, please. Oh my god. So yeah, because this book was part of the vertical run, there is nudity, so yeah, I'm not gonna basically, like, do step-by-step review. I'm just going to cover the arcs, right? Which, if you haven't seen my review for Volume 1, for the first omnibus, I recommend watching that, okay? So yeah, the first arc covers the introduction of this living sentient street called Danny the Street, who is sentient and can teleport himself anywhere in the world, right? And you have this agent called Mr. Jones, who leads these assassins called the Men from Nowhere, and they want to hunt down everything that's quirky or different. So the Doom Patrol meets Danny the Street, and they have to save them from this guy. And this is where we also get the first appearance of Flex Mentallo, who is a homeless man. So and here we see Flex Mentallo, who looks like Alan Moore. And for people who don't know, Grant Morrison had this huge rivalry with Alan Moore all over Marvel Man book. So yeah, the first arc is them fighting the Men from Nowhere and meeting Danny the Street, only to be introduced to Flex Mentallo, who is a ex-superhero. Who is an ex-superhero who was fighting the government because the government had, like, some kind of weird supernatural, oh my god, it's just so crazy, this book. Like, supernatural, like, unit or something, like, machine that was going to take over the world. But that's actually they set up for that. That's actually the third arc. The second arc is Rhea Jones comes out of her coma and comes out with superpowers, right? And she gets basically kidnapped by these weird aliens who want to use her power to win a holy war on this planet. And you have half the team is with one side, and half the team's with the other side of the conflict. And yeah, it's just crazy postmodern Grant Morrison. Weird for the sake of weird. We'll just have random occult symbols. Yeah, I love how I said I'm not gonna have nudity in the book, and then we end up having nudity in the book anyway. So next, yeah, this is where it gets really weird, where we get the whole, like, why is the Pentagon the shape that it is? And we also have they also have their version of the Men in Black, which was pretty cool. And yeah, so, like, this arc was probably the best arc in the book, and probably should have been the climax, because the next two arcs are pretty weak. The second to which we also get a bonus story called the Beard Hunter, where this guy, who obviously, this is where somebody said this is like Grant Morrison's FU to Alan Moore. But yeah, this is where we get to just the beard hunter who hates beards, and he's basically like a parody of the Punisher. And he wants to he gets hired by the Beard Association to kill Niles Calder because they made fun of him, right? So he decides to take the job anyway. And here's the issue where we get like Niles Calder's like, where we get like a basically, even though Niles Calder isn't the main like protagonist in this issue, we get to see Niles Calder shine in this story, which was pretty cool. So yeah, we got a continuation of the Fex Mental arc. But yeah, here we have the second. The climax of that. Next, we have the second to last arc in the book, where we get introduced, where our characters have to stop another apocalypse from the devil, who is this weird, eccentric British man. And there's also the thing where Crazy Jane has a new personality, who is kind of very promiscuous and just wants to have sex with anybody and everybody. So yeah, and they also this comic was super weird, and they're also hinting at the final arc where they're gonna bring back the Brotherhood of Dada, if you remember this thing. But yeah, this issue was super weird because they kept making references to the X-Men, and you even have these guys here are called the Sex Men, who are there to stop this guy who's the devil, but it goes by a different name, but it's the devil, right? Oh my god! And how they stopped the devil was kind of dumb. So yeah, here we have the final arc where they introduced the new Brotherhood of Dada, where we have Love Glove, whose special powers is he has a glove that he can summon gloves from his dream world, and they can do like different stuff. You also have another another new member who is basically a possessed mirror creature. And you have this guy, which is Agent Exclamation Mark, who doesn't really have powers. I mean, his power is like he can go anywhere unseen, right? Or something like that. And then they have another member called Mr. Nunn, who is just like random inconveniences. So he can be like a banana peel, or he can be a door that just opens up from out of nowhere. Really, really stupid stuff. And the book ends with the Doom Patrol losing to the Brotherhood of Dada because they got a bike from the guy who invented LSD. And the book ends very, very trippy. But a nice art, but yeah. The book ends with our characters losing to the Brotherhood of Dada, and we get like fake like covers for stories that never happen. And that's the end of the book. So what did I think about the book? Also, I forgot to mention Kipling had a cameo, which is like who was Grant Morrison's like version of like John Constantine, which that character is such a good character. Like why wasn't he like this was all Kino here. Like, some of the dialogue he has is, like, just fantastic. So, like, he gets introduced. Some guy tells him, hey, that the apocalypse is back. The apocalypse is happening. The Shally Mr. Evans is back. And, like his dialogue is like, fantastic, man. It's, like the battle of good and evil is happening right now. And it's, like, the battle of good and evil might as well be called the battle of left and right or up and down. It's pointless. It never is. Oh, but like, yeah, so his dialogue was fantastic. I love that character. Like, Grant Morrison needs to do more of that character. But yeah, so what did I think about the book? There's the horror elements were great. The supernatural elements were great. But the problem with the book is that they were setting up for stuff that never happened. It's like he was told. It was like in the last last 4 issues. He said or last 5 issues. DC or something came up to him and was like, yeah, wrap it, Grant Morrison, wrap it up, okay? Because the last 2 arcs were super short, and like the climax of Grant Morrison's run just felt like very anticlimactic, very much reminiscent of Frank Miller's Daredevil, but that Daredevil, Frank Miller pulled it off to make it emotional, very highly emotional. Right, where here it's what the fuck? It just felt rushed at the end, man. The best stuff happened in the halfway point. The second half, it just felt it was it wasn't bad, but it just felt weak. This was I was when I started last week. When I started this book, it was okay, this is going to be 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Now it's because of the weak second half, oh my God. I would be lying if I said this was an 8 out of 10, honestly. But, the art was good, the stories were good. It's just it felt very rushed at the end. It was giving me flashbacks to Final Fantasy 15, where it's wow, this was so good, and now it's you're rushing it, man. It's what the hell. But yeah, if you love the first volume, you'll love this. This was great, but it's holy shit, man. It felt super rushed, and Kipling should have been had more screen time, honestly. But yeah. Not only does this book handle the horror elements great, the thriller elements great, but also the comedy is also good. This was fantastic. But the second half really brings it down. So I'm only giving it a 7.5 out of 10. But fantastic. If you've never read any Doom Patrol, you have to read Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol. Even though I honestly think the Silver Age stuff isn't bad. But yeah, that's it for this review, guys. The next Halloween month review will be Tuesday, most likely. Okay, guys, peace.